Hi, baby.
What's up, baby?
You gotta tell me to be in my video.
Like this money on my mind, out of sight, out of mind. But for me, they don't apply. Only pray. I'm the bitch that's better. So go, I got my foot up on their necks, no, I won't wait.
This is the story of Chantel Gardner, a 33-year-old rapper and mother of two, who discovered her 2-year-old dead after leaving her 2- and 3-year-old kids alone days at a time so that she could spend time with her boyfriend. The investigation into the child's death will reveal a chilling account of neglect, suffering, and a little girl whose cries for help went unheard. What would make a mother abandon her duty to protect and love her kids just so she could spend time with her boyfriend? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Indianapolis, Indiana. This city became the backdrop of an unthinkable tragedy, one that would send shockwaves through the community and beyond. Chantel Gardner, a 33-year-old mother, is at the center of an alarming case of child neglect, one that ended in the tragic and untimely death of her 2-year-old daughter Skylar Gardner. 33-year-old Chantel Gardner was an aspiring rapper.
This big shanty and them hoes do not like that. They think I'm Joy Mother, how I'm coming on that mic check. Don't check for me if ain't no check for me and I know not check. Fuck this neck cause I'm the recipe, I'm really like that. I be Addy in my Addy while you out here catching bodies. Bitches bank accounts on E, I be like, whoa, keep us savvy. These hoes couldn't stop me even on my worst day. I keep that cake up in my pockets every day, my birthday. I put my neck on chill, put my wrist on freeze, put the deuces on the whip, and you know I keep them clean. I just came back on the scene like I never took a break. Bitches think I'm selling pussy, niggas think I'm pushing weight.
Authorities allege that Chantel routinely left her 2 small children alone for extended periods of time, often overnight, while she stayed at her boyfriend's house. What began as suspected neglect soon unraveled into a devastating tale of abandonment and suffering that ultimately resulted in the death of a child. The horrifying discovery came on Saturday, January 25, when Chantel reportedly found Skylar unresponsive under a dresser in their Indianapolis home. She called 911, but by the time emergency responders arrived, it was too late. Skylar was already gone. Upon examining the toddler's body, authorities made a series of disturbing findings. Skylar had bruises covering her face, arms, legs, back, and genitals. A puncture wound on her neck raised further suspicion. Medical professionals could not ignore the possibility of ongoing abuse. As investigators dug deeper, the conditions of the home added another layer of horror to the case. Police reports described the Gardner residence as unlivable. Trash was scattered throughout the home, rotting food emitted a foul stench, and feces were smeared on the walls and furniture. This was not just neglect. It was a complete disregard for the well-being of the innocent children who lived there. Investigators soon learned that Skylar and her 3-year-old brother had allegedly been left alone for hours at a time, every single night, while their mother was with her boyfriend. During questioning, Chantel reportedly admitted that she would stop by only once a day to bring them food and something to drink. 2 toddlers, abandoned to fend for themselves in deplorable conditions, their only source of care being a brief visit each day from their mother, someone who was supposed to put their care and well-being above all else. When confronted about Skylar's injuries, Chantel denied any involvement in physical or sexual abuse. She allegedly told authorities that the bruising on her daughter's genitals was due to infrequent diaper changes, an explanation that left investigators skeptical. Authorities swiftly arrested Chantel Gardner on a preliminary charge of neglect of a dependent under the age of 14 resulting in death, a level 1 felony. If convicted, she faces up to 40 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000.
That Indianapolis mother who faces charges after the death of her 2-year-old daughter. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chelsea Helms.
And I'm Nick McGill in for Bob. CBS 4's Jesse Wells got a hold of court records today, which detail how the case came to light over the weekend.
Police were first called to this apartment building behind me by the victim's mother, who reported finding her daughter unresponsive under a dresser. Court records claim that mother admitted to neglecting her kids, who were living in filth. Here on the ground floor of this apartment building near Shadeland and Fall Creek, 2-year-old Skylar Gardner died Saturday night. Police claim the little girl and her young sibling were living in horrific conditions, with the apartment floor and walls covered in feces amidst a stench of rotting food. According to this affidavit, the girl's mother, Chantel Gardner, told police she left her young children home alone for several hours every day and night, while she spent time at her boyfriend's house.
Clearly, the state has a good case to show that she was neglect of a dependent.
Attorney Mario Masalamani isn't connected to the case, but says while Indiana law doesn't specify an exact age at which a child can be left home alone, parents can be charged with neglect if they abandon their children, deprive them of necessary support, or leave them in a situation that endangers their life.
The law doesn't specify a specific age because the law doesn't want to specify an age. In this situation, you have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. Clearly, they're not able to stay by themselves.
Police say Gardner confessed she came back to the apartment once a day to feed her 2 kids and often found them covered in feces. Gardner admitted she knew she was neglecting her kids, but insisted she never physically harmed the children herself.
So in neglect of a dependent, you don't have to show that she intentionally tried to harm them. She just put them in a situation that it risked their lives.
While it's not clear exactly how the 2-year-old girl died, doctors at Riley Hospital say they found a large puncture wound to her neck and her whole body was covered in bruises. Finally, the suspect is being held on a $100,000 bond. She's due in court for an initial hearing later this week. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
All right, Jesse, thank you. Neglect of a dependent resulting in death is a level 1 felony that carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison.
The case quickly gained public attention, sparking outrage and sorrow within the community.
Those new court documents say 2-year-old Skylar Gardner may have been dead for several hours before she was found, and her body was full of bruises and injuries.
Tragic to think about the victim here.
A young victim who family says has such a bright smile and personality.
And unfortunately, that flame was put out too soon.
Saturday night, police say Skylar's mother called them after she found Skylar unresponsive under a dresser. Court documents say once officers got inside the apartment, they found trash, human feces, steak knives, and soiled items scattered around. When Skylar was taken to the hospital, doctors found a large puncture wound to her neck.
This life deserved to have fulfilled who knows how old, and lived a wonderful life, brought brightness into everyone's lives.
Documents reveal when Skylar's mother and her boyfriend talked with police, they both said she would spend the night at her place every night, leaving Skylar and her older brother alone in the apartment. The mother also said she would only check on the two once a day, only to bring them food and a drink, and they would be dirty. The mother denied abusing the children, but said she knew she was neglecting them.
We're the only ones in the society, adults, that can be the advocate for these children, that have a voice.
IMPD says in cases like this, it's important for other family members to be aware of any abuse or neglect and report it immediately.
Please reach out to 911, contact the police. We will get you resources. It's not criminal to ask for help, and we want you to do so.
So another child doesn't lose their life to neglect.
People took to social media with their anger and frustrations about this senseless crime. OMG, have you all seen the story about Chantel Monet, real name Chantel Gardner, leaving her 2 kids, ages 2 and 4, home alone? She came home to find her 2-year-old deceased under a dresser. She was only coming home once a day to feed them, then leaving again to stay with her boyfriend every day of the week, no baths. Like, what is going on with these people mentally? I was up until 2 a.m. looking this story up, and she's been on Facebook like she didn't just leave her 2 kids unattended. Y'all come look at this. OMG. I can't believe this mother. Long live baby Skylar. I can't wait to find out who the boyfriend is, because where did you think her children was at? Like, she could have had cameras in the house to watch her children since she was on this deadbeat behavior. I don't condone leaving children alone, but at least cameras could have showed her what happened leading up to her death. How can you leave babies home alone to protect and defend themselves? Neighbors questioned how this could have happened right under their noses. How could no one have noticed the suffering these children endured? Could this tragedy have been prevented? The Indianapolis Star, Wish TV, and other local news outlets confirmed the charges. According to police reports, law enforcement launched a death investigation in the 6300 block of Newberry Road around 6:35 p.m. on that fateful Saturday. On Monday, the Marion County Coroner's Office officially identified the victim as 2-year-old Skylar Gardner, sealing the tragedy in the public record. Attorney Mario Masalamani, though not directly involved in the case, weighed in on Indiana's legal stance on child neglect. He explained that while state laws do not specify an exact age at which a child can be left home alone, parents can face criminal charges if they place their children in dangerous situations. Clearly, the state has a good case to show she was neglecting a dependent. Masalamani stated. A 2-year-old and a 3-year-old cannot take care of themselves. They should have never been left alone. As the investigation unfolds, many questions remain unanswered. What truly happened inside that house? Were there warning signs that were ignored? And most importantly, who will speak for Skylar now? Skylar's father took to social media with his hurt and frustration following the death of his daughter. He was co-parenting with Chantel Gardner and reportedly tried to see his daughter on multiple occasions. He posted text messages between he and Chantel regarding his daughter Skylar. I can go back months of me asking and wanting to see my kids. I don't have no custody or visitation rights. I can't just pull up there. I would go to jail. Like I said, I've been calling. I have message on Messenger to me reaching out. He went on to make further posts about his daughter's death. Miss your babies while you can. R.I.P. Daddy baby gone too soon. Please everyone check on the people you love. Family members, BFF, kids, friends, calling, beat the door down and see what's going on. Some people need help. Don't wait till it's too late. Even if you talking to someone, if you see something wrong, just don't overlook it to get your rocks off. If they got kids, check on them even if they ain't yours. Just don't add to the problem. Speak the F up and don't be nasty enough just to sit around and watch the one you talking to sink in a hole and don't help them out. Shit kill me. All my so-called boys all in her inbox, just wanting to get their rocks off, not even checking to see if she got it all. People can go downhill fast, so wake up and speak up life. Authorities later also charged Chantel's boyfriend Brian Thomas in the death of baby Skylar. He was charged in assisting a criminal. People also took to social media about their frustration with the role the boyfriend played in Skylar's death. One user posted on his page. So Brian Thomas, yo big funky bad body ill-built potato skin eating raggedy mouth ass, let her abandon them babies to lay up with yo stank ass for days at a time. Don't worry about it, I got something for you big fella. News outlets reported that the boyfriend was aware the children were being left alone, but he denied this in a lengthy post on social media. He posted. So here are the facts. I have known Shani for years from the music scene. We never messed around until she was in the process of getting divorced. No, we weren't in a relationship. She was messing with someone else at the time until he got locked up. I'm not going to say his name and put him in it. Yeah, we kicked it from time to time, and we started hanging tough in July, close to when we did that video. I never said I only knew her for 3 months or whatever y'all are saying. I had already met the kids, and anybody who knows me knows I spoil any kids who are around. When the real truth comes out, people are going to look stupid. I haven't been over her crib in months. She even told the detective that because she was embarrassed about the house, which I never knew. She was going to both her jobs Monday through Friday, and I literally didn't see her until after 7 p.m. on those days. So y'all saying she was at my crib for 7 days straight like she was just posted up there, that's not the case. She even told people the kids were with someone else or at daycare whenever anyone asked. So I'm not going to investigate if she calls me after leaving work, saying she's about to drop off food and stuff to her friend or stepdaughter for the kids. Once again, she was telling everyone something different. There's no way I would have gone for that. If it was that bad, I would have paid for daycare, but there was no indication or sign that anything was wrong. Everything seemed okay, and the kids seemed safe from what I observed. Whenever I did see them, there were no visible bruises or anything. No, I didn't ask where they were every day. If someone says their kids are with a friend or stepdaughter, why would I question that daily? And when I say once a week, sometimes she would pull up and leave right back out, not like they spent the night or anything like that. So stop saying she was at my place for 7 days straight, all day, every day. If she spent the night, she was gone by 7 in the morning until later that night. She used to mention postpartum, but I have no kids or baby mamas, so I didn't completely understand how serious that was until I was just told yesterday. So continue getting y'all likes and comments for the little fame y'all never had. When they showed the pictures of the baby in the house, a grown person couldn't even be in there, so why would I have known that and not said anything? I literally saw messages people sent me with conversations with her baby daddy, and she even lied about that. She called me snapping, saying he was lying on her because he still wanted to mess with her, and clearly, it was her pushing the issue and making it seem like they were just trying to bully her once again, lying to everybody. And she never came around me stinking. I don't even mess with a woman with bad hygiene. I'm not the weird dudes y'all mess with. Sorry. Last thing to the people saying they're supposedly going to do something, be blessed. Very blessed. What happened to Skylar Gardner should have never happened. She was an innocent child who deserved love, care, and protection, especially from the one person who should have prioritized her above all else. Her mother. If Chantel Gardner wanted to spend time with a man, she had options. She could have hired a babysitter, asked a family member for help, or simply taken her children with her. Instead, she chose to abandon them, leaving them in a dangerous and unsanitary environment. No man should ever take precedence over the well-being of a child, and Skylar's tragic fate is a devastating testament to what happens when a parent neglects their most fundamental duty. May Skylar Gardner rest in peace. She deserved better. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.